Hello and welcome to AtoZ Healing Space and our wonderful monthly workshop. I want to ask you to please turn your mics off. We're recording this meeting. Before I introduce our wonderful workshop leader, I just wanted to say that there's a few controls you should know about down below on your screen, where you can mute and unmute yourself if you want to ask a question. If the workshop leader is talking, you can just raise your hand, or there's a chat function down below where you can address a question to Lisa Marie privately or to the entire group, and we can acknowledge your question in that way. So we're recording now, and without further ado, I'd like to introduce our fabulous, wonderful workshop leader, Lisa Marie Goodson, aka some of you might know her as Nubia One. She's the founder and director of the Blackberry Beauty Transformative Academy, dedicated to the health and wellness of women and the men who love them. She's internationally known as a wellness coach, raw and living food chef, womb yoga instructor, dancer, and poet who has helped many women and men find new life through her work. Her own healing journey taught her that doctors couldn't help her any better than she was willing to help herself. Because of this joyous journey, Lisa Marie healed herself of all afflictions and is living the life she always imagined, filled with love, joy, and prosperity. Now her mission is to share what was so generously given to her, to love and help women globally heal from the stresses of being a woman in this society. Lisa holds an associate degree from Laney College and a bachelor's degree from the California Institute of Integral Studies. She's the proud mother of one and resides in Oakland with her daughter and devoted spouse. Welcome, Lisa Marie. It's so great to see you again.
Thank you so much. It's so great to be here, see your lovely face. When I watch you and I listen to you, I remember just all the wonderful, the interview we had and all the wonderful insights that you share. It just all kind of comes back to me. So what a nice vibration to carry that Reba that you have. So thank you for having me. I really mean it too.
That was a big virtual hug to you.
Yes.
Great to see you again.
Thank you.
So take it away. The floor is yours. We're so excited about the workshop, and lead on.
Yes, thank you so much. So everyone who's watching, I want to say first a wonderful, heartfelt thank you. And not thank you for being here with me. Thank you for being here with you. I want you to take a moment to do that. Thank you for being here with you, because there's no other better place to be. And we forget that when we think about places that we want to go, when we think about traveling, we think about our life is not where we want it to be. And we're always imagining that we can be somewhere else. But actually, we're in the greatest place we can be, which is right here in ourselves. And so tonight or today, I'm going to talk a lot about, so the title of the workshop, it says the many ways that the womb speaks to you. But I want to kind of at least break down a little bit of what do I mean by, what is this idea of the womb? I mean, some may know the womb or can assume that the womb means the uterus. But in actuality, you know, when we're talking about the womb or we're talking about that woman's space, we're talking about the deepest way that your body shows up to let you know if you're going on a direction that you want to go. Now, I was very making clear to not say the right track. Because see, I don't actually know what that is, or at any given time, I believe that changes. So the womb, your intuition, the womb, your inner knowing, the womb, your higher self, gets in touch with you, sends you messages on a daily, I say not just daily, it makes it like maybe once or twice a day, continuously sending you messages to let you know if you are going in the direction that you said that you wanted to go. And I really point out the you because I want you to know that you do have autonomy. You do have a say in the way your life goes. And I know for a lot of us, that seems like, come on, are you kidding? This is the cards that I was dealt, and now I have to deal with it. Even if that's true, let's say that the cards you were dealt were messages that came to you when you were very young. Let's call them conditions. And let's say because of those conditions, you on some level decided that you were either unworthy, didn't have a say, nobody will listen to you, you were not important, you were to be seen and not heard. Maybe you got some of these messages. And the reason why I really focus on those messages, if we're talking about the many ways that the womb speaks to you, let's talk about why it's not speaking to you. These are some of the reasons. It's the conditioning that we receive so young from people who actually really loved us. And we want to keep that in mind. This is not a hate thing, it's a love thing. And it's the love for yourself. So going back to move forward, a very famous African Ghanaian word from the country of Ghana in Africa, it is called Sankofa. Sankofa is to go back and fetch what was lost and bring it back anew. So you were lost back there. The greatest part of you and parts of you, this is why I say the many ways that the womb speaks to you. It's not one voice. I think a lot of us are looking for that voice, like, so what voice do I listen to? Or what is it, the one voice? Or how is the voice going to show up? And I say it's the many parts of you. So if you have many parts of you, there's many voices, and it's not out of this like uncontrollable, there's something wrong with me voices. It's clearly saying at any given time, the part of me that needs to show up for you will show up. And that's beautiful that we could access to what we need. It's just like a computer. I need this application, I can download it and I can have it on my computer. But if I want Facebook, if I'm on Facebook but I want YouTube, I'm on the wrong application. I have to close down Facebook so I can go to YouTube. And that's kind of how our systems operate. It's interesting, the whole idea of the internet, the computer, and whether it was conscious or not, the creation of it is so much like the consciousness in a sense. It's all knowing, all seeing, it's everywhere at every time. We know we have different belief systems. We know we have different religions. So how does the womb speak to you if you are Jewish, if you are Muslim, if you are Catholic, if you are, whatever your religious belief, it doesn't even matter. The voice is still the same. And that's the beauty of a workshop like this, is it's very much dealing with a human body, right? Having so-called a spiritual, a spiritual, I'm gonna say opportunity. I'm gonna say anytime you can get connected with spirit, you have an opportunity to do so. You still have to choose. So let's talk about the many ways that the universe, that the womb, that the higher self talks to us. You know, for a woman, I think that we very much are, believe it or not, and maybe this is something we've learned, maybe it's not intuitive to us or natural, we really want to know how it's going to go. I always used to think that, to me, this was our masculine side maybe coming in, or this is something patriarchally that we learned, but we always want to know where, in other words, we want to be in control. We want to be in control even of spirituality. We want to know what, where, why, who, when, and then we want to, and that's okay. I think that it's not so much the knowing, it's the receiving. So the first step I would say is don't want to know. This is deep, because it's something, this is down, don't want to know, because when you keep asking questions, there's just more questions to ask. I would do, in order to open up the womb, in order to hear the voice, what I would do is not want to know. I would actually want to find out. Let me tell you why that's different. I don't want to know what's going to happen next. I want to find out what did happen. Because in that past is where a lot of the inability to hear spirit is back there. So I don't want to know, I'm going to say it again, what's going to happen next. I want to find out what already happened. Because I can do something about what messages that I received when I was younger. This is very important, because as a woman, a lot of us are reading these self-help books, we're doing the metaphysical work, we're writing our affirmations, we're doing our visualizations, we're doing all these things that everything metaphysically said to do, yet we still feel like we have no clarity. As a matter of fact, sometimes we feel more mixed up than when we started before. In other words, so why is the messages not coming through? Why can't we hear them? Because we were taught not to hear them, because there's a blockage usually, and it can take a few minutes to release the blockages so that we can hear. So of course we can talk about diet. We're gonna talk about that a little today, but not We can focus on a lot of things. We can focus on going mentally, changing your thoughts and your affirmations. But why and how do affirmations even work? If they're still sitting on top of the what happened a long time ago, and we're not releasing the what happened a long time ago, we can't even choose a correct affirmation. I would say do not randomly look for affirmations, meaning don't look for a good book of affirmations. Don't hear affirmation somebody else said unless it resonates with you. Create your own affirmations out of what you know you need. So in other words, let's say that as a young woman, because particularly women, so this is very important, you got a message, and it doesn't have to be overt. It could have been a subtle message that women don't speak up, that women fall back and let the man decide on what to do. So he has the voice, he has the power, and you are kind of there for decoration or to assist him in what he wants. Let's just say that this is a scenario. So how does that continue to show up in your life? And how does that continue to show up in the ways that you're not hearing the womb, the spirit, the higher self speak to you? That's the most important question. How am I not hearing this, Lisa Marie? Why do I do all this meditation, but I still feel confused? Because something said to you that you have no power. Therefore, you're not going to connect with the power within. You couldn't even connect with the power without. And once you understand what happened, Sankofa, go back and fetch what was lost. Let me figure out, why can I hear? Ask the first question, what messages did I receive when I was younger? Or even last year, or the year before? What messages did I receive that told me that I couldn't hear? Question.
If I may.
Yes.
Because I totally agree with you. We have to know what those thoughts are deep within us. But the question always is, it's always such a privilege when we get to be privy to what we're thinking. Yes. What is your method for really digging out those inner thoughts? What do you, because you're very in touch with your, right, those old stories that you got told,
right,
not heard, all that, there to support the man. How do you get them? Because they're a little bit elusive. They're not so obvious, right?
Right. Well, you know what? I tell you where I start. I start from present, and then I kind of step by step go back. I don't think it's a one-shot deal. So let's give you an example. Let's say that your confusion is showing up as an addiction. Let's deal with something very tangible. So you have an addiction to maybe alcohol, drugs, even addiction to food. Let's say that that's showing up, because when we women start digging, it's because something's going not right in our lives, right? So we have an addiction. So the addiction may be, let's take cigarette smoking. This is something that Louise Hay talks about wonderful example. Let's take that we smoke cigarettes. And then after a while, again, we don't know why we're smoking cigarettes. We're not understanding that it's connected to anything else. All we know is that was what we do. So we create an affirmation around it that says, I release the need to smoke cigarettes. And you say it over and over again. So this is what I do. I get back to, if I want to stop this, I don't go, oh my God, I'm ruining my life and everybody around me. Oh my God, I'm going to die early. Oh my God, it's so horrible. I got to stop. I got to have the willpower. It has nothing to do with that. I release the need. Because as Louise Hay says in her book, You Can Heal Your Life, just be willing to change. I'm willing to release better. I'm willing to release the need to smoke. After a while, things will start changing in your life. When you change, now this is very important, everybody around you will be affected by it. Your relationships will start to feel very uncomfortable, because now you're saying these affirmations. Even if you're saying it to yourself, you're changing something energetically around you, and then everybody else is affected by it, and you start realizing, okay, people are kind of getting uncomfortable, because my really need to change is affecting other people. They don't really know how to think. Maybe there were people that liked me smoking. Maybe there were people that when I smoked, it allowed them to smoke too. Maybe people liked the fact that I did keep everything and didn't express myself, and that we can all just blow smoke in each other's face, Maybe people like that. So now you don't do it. You're the center of your universe. Now but your center is affecting all of these other people in your life. So now you realize relationships are getting a little uncomfortable. Maybe then you start thinking about, well, when did I notice that? Why am I allowing myself to be in uncomfortable relationships? Oh, so I'm allowing myself, I'm attracting uncomfortable relationships. Maybe I smoke, as Louise Hay likes to say, as a smoke screen. Maybe I smoke so that I don't have to notice that I'm really in uncomfortable relationships anyway. Remember, your voice is stolen. You're not you came into the world and now you found yourself in these uncomfortable relationships. Maybe I should let me start thinking about, I'm willing to release the need to have uncomfortable relationships. Because now something came out of the willing to release the need to stop smoking cigarettes. You figured out maybe you're just kind of blocking, you're using it as a smoke screen. Now, after you realize you attract uncomfortable relationships, then start looking at the relationship. Now the need is going away to smoke. Okay, so the relationship is uncomfortable and I attracted it. Why do I attract it? What is uncomfortable about it? Start noticing. Do they criticize me? Is it an uncomfortable relationship? Is that I'm never really enough to them? Is the relationship uncomfortable because I feel like I need to, like I said, be seen and not heard? Once you start realizing that maybe you attract the uncomfortable relationships because, and you see the similarity in all of them, that, wow, it is because I've been criticized. They're all criticizing me. Then you go back and go, who started criticizing me when I was a youngster? Who told me this thing that I continue to keep attracting? And once you go back to what happened and forgive the parties involved, you have an opportunity now to create a new condition, which means now you can create affirmation. You'll find that the addiction goes away, the need to be sad or upset. You're freed yourself. Those parts of yourself I keep talking about, there's a big part. Maybe it's the little girl in you. It could be a numerous part. There's a strength in you, the power in you. She's set free. The addiction probably will go away. But more importantly, that part of you, that trust, it will be more open. So now put a visualization or affirmation into this openness and start realizing that I can trust her. I can trust my intuition because I understood that she was blocked. I removed the blockage, so now I can hear her voice. So that's an example.
That's beautiful. Yeah, it's really the way you describe it. I don't mean to make this an interview, and I'll stop interrupting, but
no problem.
It's really like a sleuth work. You really just keep digging, keep
Yes.
following the strands till you get to sort of like that core truth. So that's just the work. You do the work.
Yes, you do the work. So so the many ways that the womb speaks to you. So I'll keep going back to the title so people will know, just in case you're joining, don't know where we are. We're talking about the many ways the womb speaks to you. I illustrated in a lot of ways that the womb is the inner voice, the intuition, the higher power, that thing. I want to make sure that I let you know, though, why do I say the womb and why don't I say when God speaks to you, and God is sort of divine. I'm saying the womb because it's something that belongs to you. And that's what I want, this kind of responsibility is, it's your voice. It's not her voice. It's not his voice. That's why when you read a book, it resonates with you. When you listen to a podcast, it resonates to you. But the fact is, it's not you. If you try to solve your problem the way that you did, that other person did, and you find it doesn't work because it's still not you. And I think that's what we're so afraid of. I think that we go outside. This is why we don't listen to intuition. We don't see the signs. We go outside because somehow still we were taught that you out there still has more authority than I do. So that's why I say the womb, because it's specific to you. It's your womb. So it's your universe, if you want. And so we want to really kind of get that, wow, Lisa Marie is really bringing us back to ourselves. She's saying, don't be afraid of the dark. Don't be afraid to go down deep. There's something really beautiful down there. So then how does now the wave start showing up now? How does the wave show up? Okay, so now you've done some of the inner work. Now you start doing that. Once you start tapping in, somebody once said, and I love it, whether you start on the mental, the physical, or the spiritual, you'll get to all of them anyway, either way.
That is A to Z healing space right there. Because that is our whole thing, is that all these paths lead to this greater self-knowledge. Could you give us, I don't know if you can, or if you're on a track, but I'd love for you to give us an exercise that we could do in, let's say, 5 minutes, where we could just say, okay, well, womb, I want to hear from you right now. How do we approach that? Not the digging and that long-term creation.
Yes,
Can
yes,
help
yes.
us with that.
So remember too, yes, I would love to do that. Remember that everything is happening simultaneously. So even when you're doing the digging, you're also, as the woman's still speaking to you, you're also clearing up old blockages and you're creating something new. So let's always remember that it's not separate, just so we know, because we'll start thinking that when we eat healthier foods, that that's what we're doing is taking care of the physical. But no, we're opening up the mind, we're opening up the heart, we're opening up the spirit. So, but I'll give you definitely an exercise. What I want to say is, because I'm into the no exercises exercise, and I'll tell you what I mean. Wherever you are right now, sit. I mean, that alone makes people go, and then, but let's go back. Wherever you are right now, sit. As the Zen Buddhist saying goes, don't just do something, sit there, sit. So we're sitting. What comes to you? You might want to have a journal to record it. You might want to have a speaker phone to record it. Sit and tell me what comes. I don't care if it's I got to do the laundry, or I got an appointment later, or it feels really good to sit, or I don't nothing's coming to me now, or because you have to know how you think. And then notice that none of those things that just came, that none of them are frivolous. So if right now I was to just sit, I'm going to ask everyone to close their eyes, and we're just going to sit. Well, that means wherever you are right now is the perfect place. You don't need to be in nature, although that will help tremendously. You don't need to eat a raw food diet, although that would help tremendously. All you need to do is sit with what is right now. Because where you're going to is already divine. But it's easier to get there if you actually know where you are. You have to have a starting point. You don't know your starting point, so know that. Okay, so I'm sitting right now, and the first thing that's coming to me is, I feel good, or I feel like I need to help people understand how to find themselves again. Oh, wow, I feel like I'm looking forward to going to the river with my husband, and we're gonna sit out on the hot rocks and bathe in the sun. Okay, so what is all that happening? What's happening, let's say you were to record any of those things. What's happening is you're starting to know what you think all the time, but you're also starting to know maybe what's important to you. It might really be that doing the laundry right now is important to you. And because doing the laundry right now is important to you, you're not going to be, until you do the laundry, go do the laundry then, so that you can get clear and come back and sit down. You may realize that when it's time to go deep, this is why you can't hear many ways the womb speaks to you. When it's time to go deep, you think of other things instead, because you're afraid to go deep. You're afraid to hear your voice. You're afraid to want to know what's down there. You're afraid. So you doing the exercise lets you know either what's important to you, or what's on your mind, or how you divert your time with yourself to other things. Because it tells you something, then it helps you learn, like, wow, where did I learn that? Maybe when I know women that say, I started a conversation with my mom, she'd be like, oh my God, look at the time. Look at the time. Or, oh my God, we got to get ready to go. Or like, so it's almost still, because you can't get away from work. But doing it also for me, when I was closing my eyes and just sitting here, as I said, I felt very relaxed. I felt like kind of happy. I felt like I was really with myself. And I don't know if there's a moment in time that I get to feel that way when you're busy with life. So the suggestion is to do the exercise every day for 2 to 5 minutes. We don't want to stress you out, and we don't want to get you too scared. Because when you have fear, you retreat or you run. Get a journal, a voice recorder, or nothing at all. And just observe what was on your mind. Not to get rid of it, not to stop thinking. We're not talking about the monkey mind thing. We're not doing that. I need to know me. And even the hurt and the pain is still me. It's a part of me right now. It doesn't have to be me forever. But at least I'm so tired of running. I'm so tired of not knowing. I need to know. So that's going to help your intuition And then after a while, you're going to like the time. You may spend it a little longer. And after a while, you're going to love the time. And after a while, you're going to see what's going on inside of you. And after a while, you're going to bring in what you really want because you're going to be able to listen. So I want to talk about a little bit of signs, symbols, and things that actually are telling you this is the many ways that your womb speaks to you. So let's say you've done I won't say a significant amount of work. Sometimes it's the mustard seed size of work. Significant doesn't mean a lot. It means what is important, how much you need it. Sometimes just when the shades are closed, the blinds are closed, and you open it just a little bit, that little bit of light that peeks in is enough to make a monumental change in your life. So spirit is awakened, intuition is in attendance, and she's alert. She's so happy you came back to ask her what she needs or what she thinks. Ways that it shows up. Let's talk about some of the so-called unpleasant ways. I was going to say negative, but I want to say unpleasant because I'm definitely watching my words. So let's talk about the unpleasant ways that the womb wants to speak to you. Because I think that once we know the unpleasant, we can know how to change it to the pleasant. Unpleasant ways the womb speaks to you. You get aches and pains in your body, particularly your kidney and your liver. Those organs themselves are filtration. They move things from one place to the other. They make sure the blood gives your nutrients and gives your cells energy. So when you're not in a sustenance role, when you're not sustaining, or you're not able to digest, because even if you don't want to do the deeper work, the body will say, okay, look, I came to you. I told you need to go within. I said, do the little 5-minute exercise and just listen to yourself. I told you, you didn't listen, but that's okay because I love you and I'm not doing anything to you. And that's true. Spirit will never hurt you, will never leave you, will never forsake you. But I need you to sit down and you're not going to do it. So guess what? I'm going to make certain parts of your body, certain organs in your body hurt or activate. Let's call it, not say hurt, let's say activate. So now, oh my God, my kidneys are in such pain, or my liver, or, my colon, like my digestive system, I'm becoming constipated. These are all the ways that the womb is speaking to you to say, I need you so that I need you to get clear. Constipation clearly is I'm blocked up. Kidney and liver means I can't digest or I can't filter what's going on. I'm blocked. It's a stop. And this is why you want to pay attention, because if not attended to on a spiritual level, we're going to talk about physical and we're going to talk about mental, which we did a little bit, it's going to get worse instead of better. So more than aches and pains, blockages, constipation, pain in the kidney or the liver area, even heartburn or heart, even palpitations. All ways of your body saying, particularly for a woman, all ways of her body saying, pay attention now. So those are some of the physical. Another way that your womb speaks to you is that part of you that does mental, no clarity, feeling confused, not feeling that feeling that all of us get at different junctions in our life. What's next? What should I do with my life? Where am I going? All of those questions, feeling like you want big stuff, feeling like you want to leave your job, feeling like you want to move from your home, feeling like you want to get a divorce. These are real things. It may not be you want a divorce. You may just need that time to yourself. So all these big things come up like, I don't want to work the job I worked for 20 years, or I don't want to live in the house that my family gave to me for 20 years. I don't want to be married, and I've been in a 20-year marriage. Those are the ways, just the feelings. And I want you to I'm helping you to identify feelings of many ways the womb speaks to you. Maybe it's not pleasant. That's why I said not negative, but unpleasant. It's speaking to you. And if you have to listen, because then what the womb does, or your intuition, is she starts to get a little more aggressive. So now the relationship is over. Now you've lost the house, because now how does those ideas, those feelings that you're feeling, I want to leave my husband, I want to leave the job, I want to leave the home, how does those feelings turn into negative messages in your body? Because now you're going to be upset. Now you're going to be, even when your body is clogged, your body is blocked, you're not yourself. You're very angry. You're very sad. That's why I see the body shows up first, in my opinion, of blockages. Of course, you want to leave everything. You're not feeling good. When you're not feeling good, you want to retreat. It's almost a natural kind of thing, fight or flight. I'm not feeling good. I'm out of here. Or you want to fight. And unfortunately, you want to fight all this outside of you because it looks like they're all the problem when it actually is inside of yourself. So first step is physically it shows up. Second step is that the feelings, or emotionally, meaning I want to go, I just can't. I got to you might really need to let all those things go, but you might need to reevaluate, because if you let it go, then where do you go from here? So you have to understand why. And then another way that it shows up is actually, that I said now spiritually, it shows up where I can't concentrate, I can't meditate. I don't have a safe space, or I don't have a space to myself, or I don't have a place to go, or I don't. So it's all these reasons. Then you're mentally, physically, and spiritually blocked. And even so, let me tell you that a hope. So let's talk about the pleasant. Let's say you're at that point. I mean, that's the point of the body, my mind, my spirit, which all go together. It's really all one. So you should be, if you're mentally blocked, you should be physically blocked. You should be spiritually blocked. I want people to know so nobody thinks that they're losing their minds because everything is going wrong at the same time. It's like, can we just have one thing go right? Well, how could that be? How could that be? If you're blocked in one area, you're going to be blocked in many other areas. So the best thing is, it's okay. Wow, whatever it takes for you to listen to your intuition, to understand what she's saying, if that's what it took, then that's okay. Because see, let me tell you what starts to come in, and we want to be careful of this. Oh, I did this to myself. Oh, I could never get things right. Man, I mean, I wish that I listened in the beginning when I first had the constipation, when I could have took these herbs, or I could have sat down. You'll start doing that, and that is not helpful. It's not helpful to any part of your being. So when you find yourself doing that, just in case you're going through this, and somebody's going through this, when you find yourself doing that, you have to gather support from other people. This is the beginning of actually hearing your voice, is using your voice. There's a saying, and maybe it's a saying in many things, but I know in the African American tradition, it says, a closed mouth don't get fed. A closed mouth don't get fed. A closed mouth doesn't get fed. So if you don't ask for what you want, you're going to go hungry. So this is when you start employing people around you that can tell you you're fine, or I'm here for you, or do you need somebody to talk to, or you can heal yourself, or you can do it. Once you just let that little light, when you admit that it's too much, but don't do that. I blame self. I wish I didn't. I wish I could have changed it. Just don't do that. Just admit it, and then employ help, and people will help you. You can now, let's go a little spiritual. This is physical help. We're going, everything's mental, physical, and spiritual with me. So you're asking for physical help. You're asking for bodies to be in the building because you are at a place where you feel like you're alone. That's physical. On a spiritual level, if you choose to believe this, and I know this community, the AtoZ community, does believe in angels, you can now call in the ascended masters, the spirit guides, the ancestors, and the angels. Angels surround this room. I need 100 angels in this room right now. Surround that room. Another thing now, you want to talk to another spiritual level, you can start, do you want to know if the angels are coming? There are so many angel readers. We got the wonderful Doreen Virtue, who has numerous angel oracle cards. Start now employing tools so you know that it's not just in your head, that there's something spiritually and magnetically and vibrationally going on within you that can be mirrored to you in some words. While I like Doreen Virtue, I'm sure many of the members of this group, because I know there's an angel reader in the group, I know that they have tools. What I like about Doreen Virtue and just angel readings, and I just want people to know, her cards are so affirmative. You never feel bad about yourself. You feel like, oh yeah, okay, that's all it is. I can work that out and just call on. And so you want to start bringing in, you got the bodies, Now you want to bring in the spiritual friends, the spiritual helpers, the spiritual bodies, the celestial bodies to help you. And if that's God, Jesus, Buddha, Hare Krishna, whoever that is to you, you call them in. But you also, so now you got your protection. Do you know that just with all those things going on, and you still at the state of blockages, you don't know what you want, you're still there, but just putting those things in place, you're already healing. Because now the illness, if you will, is forced you. It's forced you to sit down. Now you got to sit down. Now you got to find a journal. Now you got to go get the Louise Hay book, You Can Heal Your Life. Now you got to revisit it. Because most people, I'm talking about the spiritual woman or so-called, I will identify herself as spiritual. I'm really talking to her because I find that she's the one with the most knowledge. And I'm pointing over here because all my books are over here. She's the one with the most knowledge. She's read every single book. And it's not for show. All those metaphysical books, she read them. But when she gets in a bond, and usually when she's read them and she's absorbed them, she's taught them to many. And a lot of times when you give what you receive, sometimes if you're not careful, you deplete yourself. And you find yourself, as Sanana Roman says in the book, she does a book called Channeling, Open to Channel. Sometimes you lose yourself by giving so much, you forget exactly who and what you are. So you have to come back and recharge your battery. And so now when you revisit the books again, they all seem new. Like I read a Louise Hay, You Can Heal Your Life 1,000 times. Why is this all new? Like, why do I feel like I've never read this book? I've never done the exercise. Because periodically, to listen to your womb and know the ways, periodically you have to clean out the clutter so that you can hear again. Sometimes it's just a matter of a refresh. Just like a computer, I'm gonna refresh the page. It got it all a little bungled, and I wanna refresh the page. So multiple ways, but any questions you have, Reba?
I think it'd be a lot of fun if we could do a process now because, you know, we all want to have that moment of refreshing our pages. Okay. So if you could lead us through maybe a process where we could have an experiential thing and even maybe do a little journaling for a couple of minutes and then regather.
That'd be great. Cool. Mm-hmm. That'd be great. Let's do it. So first thing too is if you're not in a space where, like right now, I'll just tell you something I'm doing. I'm in front of a window. So take it all in, even as I speak. And in front of my window, I live in North Carolina, not Oakland anymore. I know my bio says that, but North Carolina has an abundance of greenery and beautiful trees. But even right now, in front of this big, beautiful window, I have these numerous plants, and they are green and lush. It's the combination of the humidity and the sun that allows everything to grow. So I want you to put yourself in this place. If you're in a place where you're looking at a brick wall, or maybe you're at lunch, so you're kind of, on the call, but kind of watching, but not. Let's take you out of the mind and let's take you into the heart. So I want you to be where I am, because where I am is holy bliss. And I want to invite you to join me. I want you to imagine that you too are sitting in front of this very beautiful, you can close your eyes, open your eyes when you do this very beautiful, big, picturesque window. And the window is very tall to the sky. And inside this window comes through a lot of beautiful natural sunlight. And I want you to have that experience. I want you to feel the sun shining on your face. And I want you to imagine that you're exposing yourself. So if you have a sweater on, I want you to imagine that you're taking it off, or take it off for real if you can. I want you to imagine that if you have long sleeves on, that you're rolling up your sleeves. I want you to imagine that if your shirt is buttoned to the top, that you're unbuttoning free of the top buttons. I want you to imagine if you're wearing jeans or pants and they're a little tight around the tummy, that you're maybe just opening up that first button. If you can, maybe just blowing the zipper just a bit. I want you to imagine that if your legs are crossed, that you're uncrossing them. I want you to imagine that your feet are firmly planted to the ground, so no crossing of legs, just you connected to earth and the energy surging through your feet. up into your body until it comes out of your crown chakra, which is the top of your head. And again, I want you to feel all that sun that's shining. Now, I describe these very lush plants. I want you to see the plants. I want you to see the tallness, the greenness, the lushness, the beauty. I want you to receive that oxygen and know that the sun and the greenery of the plants is bathing you right now. I want you to be there and just enjoy and say, I deserve to have this moment to myself and for myself. I deserve the sun to shine on my face and my skin and my body. I deserve the wind to blow and give me an air bath. I deserve to have the oxygen and allowing me to breathe right now. I deserve it. And allow it to be there and revel in it and enjoy it and smile. And then imagine that someone that looks just like you, but I mean, she's vibrant and she stands straight and she has a beautiful smile on her face, but she's just the weirdest thing is she looks just like you. And she wants to talk to you. So as you're sitting in place, she pulls up a seat and sits directly in front of you. I want you to imagine that she has put up her right arm, her right hand, and she is sending you energy through the palm of her hand right to your heart. And it is the most warmest, it almost lets you, if you're watching me, it almost is like a contraction as she's sending this energy to you. That your whole body, your shoulders are kind of contracting. And as she pulls the energy back with her palm, and then your chest expands. And as she moves the energy back inside, so we're actually moving here. And it kind of, the energy, that light goes all the way into the heart. And as she pulls the energy back out, never really disconnecting the energy from you, just kind of doing like a yo-yo effect. So the energy and the light goes into the heart, and the energy and light expands out of the heart. And the energy and light goes into the heart, and the energy and light expands out of the heart. And then I just want you to sit for a few minutes, feeling the same contraction and expansion, but you don't necessarily have to even move your body as I'm doing. Just feel the sensation of that contracting and expanding. And understand that even contractions are the beginning of expansion. So anytime you feel that inner, that scared feeling that I don't know what to do with, you start to close up, don't deny that feeling. Don't look at it as bad. Understand that at any moment, that one that sits in front of you, the higher self, your higher self, which is you, can open you up. And then as you breathe and you kind of feel the feeling, never leave the feeling. Understand the feeling has never left you. That person, that entity, that spirit that sat in front of you, that is your higher self, is still with you. Now, as you bring yourself back into your body, retaining that beautiful feeling, I want you to, let's start a journal exercise. If you don't have one, I would love for you to go get one. Just take some deep breaths as you bring yourself back right here, right now, but still retaining that feeling. And I would love for us to randomly, and I mean randomly, don't think about what you're going to write. I'll just give you one suggestion that on the top, you put spirit, and you put a colon, and you just put spirit. And then I want you to write. And so first spirit is talking to you, and write down what spirit says. And let's take about a few minutes. I'm going to quiet myself, and I'm going to open up my third eye, and I'm going to write with spirit. So let's all take our time to write whatever's coming to us. And you can start now. Ah. Okay, so ladies, I know I'm in bliss right now too, and I can feel the energy. I can feel the energy of even those who will watch this later. I can feel the energy of this replay. I can feel the energy of now, and it is the most perfect energy and most perfect feeling, whatever you're feeling. If you don't feel bliss and you feel sadness, if you feel anger, if you feel impatience, if you feel whatever you feel, it's okay. I would like to share with you what I got in my journal. I think one thing about doing any kind of workshop as facilitators is our true vulnerability, and also the demonstration that spirit is working through all of us all the time, no matter what. And that just doing that very simple or very simple is a great word. Spirit says simple is a great word. Exercise, you have connected to spirit, and spirit gives you messages. So I'm going to read, ladies. So of course I wrote spirit, colon, and I wrote, you are a goddess. You are a queen. You can do anything and everything, but you do not have to. You do not have to. You would still be enough if you stayed exactly as you are. What is the very thing you would like to be doing right now? And I responded, I want to sit in the river, bathe on the sun, in the sun on a hot rock and sleep. I want to love my little girl and play with her in that place. I want to love her again and not think about bills, money, work, or responsibilities. I want to be free. And I really want to talk about that, even for me as it happened. This was pure, it was real. When you do a visualization where your heart just was open by light by your higher self, because your higher self is your divine intelligence. You know, in the Kemetic belief system, there's a belief that every day has a divining principle, somebody who governs that day. You can call it a spirit guide that governs that day. And so today is Wednesday, and the governing day of Wednesday, the divining principle is somebody named Tahuti. Tahuti is an ancient Egyptian scribe. He is the one that actually writes in if your heart is as light as a feather. And Tahuti's color is yellow. But Tahuti is about divine intelligence and the sacred word. So you can call on Tahuti or bring the energy of Tahuti in by wearing yellow at any aspect. You know, it's a tiny little yellow on my dress. And so Tahuti definitely guarded my words today. And so when I read this, it says to me, what voice wants to speak at this time? Remember in the beginning, I talked about we have many voices, many parts of ourselves that speak to us and need to be forefront at any given time. Whatever we need, that person, that voice, that thing, that piece, that energy shows up. I said that there must be some pressure around. So this is how you can help yourself. I want women to be able to dissect their own journal writing. There must be some pressure around the fact that I needed to be reminded that I am a goddess, I am a queen. Maybe there's some insecurity. Maybe I don't feel like that. Maybe something was taken away from me. Maybe, but either way, I needed that acknowledged first in order to have whatever else come next. After that, I said, I want to sit. And then the spirit said, well, what do you really want to do? Well, I want to sit in the river. I want to sit on a hot rock. I want to sit in the sun. And I want to play with my little girl. That is somewhere now that's telling you something. It's like, wow, that's what's really going on. And when I said, I think about, I said, I don't want to think about bills, money, work, or responsibilities. Because a little girl, I mean, your mom thought about the work and the bills. Your dad thought about the work and the bills. The little girl, if this is a perfect world, right? Perfect world, she didn't. And in a way, I think Spirit is saying to me, I've been saying to my husband for the longest, I'm an entrepreneur. I worked for 7-8 years. So if anybody can relate, this might be you, or you might work a job for 7-8 years. But because I specified entrepreneur, and I'll tell you why. At least in a job, they might give you a vacation. You've got to take the vacation, you use it or you lose it. So there is some vacation time. When you're an entrepreneur, you can go the whole time and never take a vacation. It's never enough time. It's never good. I got clients. People need me. If I go out for a minute, I'll lose my position. Somebody else will do what I do. These are things that just go in the mind of an entrepreneur. If you're one, maybe not you, but definitely me. So I said to my husband, I hadn't had a break, or not a break. I don't want to break, because I will break. I don't want to break. I haven't had a vacation in 8 years since I started my business. And what came to me was, Spirit said, really? Okay, so then I've been experiencing this liver kidney thing. I've been experiencing, pain on the side and all these physical things that's coming up. And guess what now? I've been on total vacation. I mean, even though I'm working and doing these things, I've been sleeping in late. I've been doing a nice little gentle fast. I literally do go to the river every day with my husband. We take hiking and we walk. Our car, other ways that Spirit is trying, other ways the womb is trying to speak to you or wanting to speak to you, the many ways. Your car breaks down. The vehicle that keeps you always busy, keeps you always going. And you put it in the shop, but they can't get the part because it's a BMW and the part's somewhere else and it's going to take a while to get to it. You put the car in last Thursday, they're not going to have the car till next week. So almost 2 weeks later, you're stuck, you think. You're asked to be placed in a place where we live is absolutely beautiful. Literally, there's a river. There's 5 or 6 trails. There's a general store, one store only that has everything you need. I asked for a vacation. And it came to me through pain, physical. I started to do the emotional work. I realized that the whole thing is spiritual. The car, I can't make the car come faster. It's not about the money. We put the car in the shop the very next day. It can't come any faster. So we go hiking every day. We sit on the rock every day. And this is that's the womb speaking to me as well, saying, I did the car thing for you. I'm wanting to help you out here. I'm trying to give you what you need. And it has really given me what I need. Guess what? I'm very much got the OCD going on. I like everything spotless and clean. My house is not that tidy. Ladies, let's look at this. Because that's my sense of control. That's my work is my sense of control. All of it. It's not tidy bathroom. It's not the time. My husband is doing his best to keep it all together. But of course, I got this thing going and nobody can do it better than me. Just check it out. So it is not, and I have to look at it and go, I can't do everything. So again, let's go back to what my journal writing said. You are a goddess. You are a queen. You can do anything and everything, but you do not have to. You do not have to. You will still be enough if you stopped, if you stayed exactly as you are. What a message to play with. That's the work. We just did the work. We got down to the core of why. And do you understand that y'all been doing this? Oh, my own healing work. So that's why I said employ. Let's go back down to the steps. Employ real people, because a lot of times it's not you that's going to find you or totally. It's a community of people. I'm on this live stream with you all, doing the work from the heart. I'm a Leo, so all about the heart. And the community, whether you're on or not now, whether you're going to be on later, the community brought something out of me that I couldn't do quite by myself. So all the steps are very important. Yes, Reba?
So are you saying that the message that you received was, in essence, a message for everyone here and for everyone listening to the recording?
Let me say, not only yes, and more yes. And I'll tell you why I'm saying it. If we learn this, we learn everything. That there's no separation. Any place where you are, whether you're watching this now or you're watching this later, any place where you are and that person before you, in front of you, are having an experience is because of the experience that you share in as well. See, I already know that whoever watches this later, I know they're going to comment if they can, or whatever, however they can, that, do you understand that that's exactly what I'm going through, or very similar? Do you know that when you became so vulnerable, you actually channel everybody on here on some level, some aspect of what you did. That exercise was really me saying, wow, now I know how to cycle through, to filter through what I needed to hear in that message. Absolutely. And maybe, and for those that think this has nothing to do with me, this is not my experience, this is not, I'm not, that may be the very one that really needs to go deeper. Because a lot of times resistance is our first go-to emotion. No, it's not me. And then once we're willing to release resistance, just say, I'm willing to release resistance. I'm willing to let go of the resistance that keeps me away from knowing the truth about me. So yes, I believe, we all know the adage, like attracts like, or there are no accidents and no coincidences in the universe. If you believe that, and I know anybody that's on this live, this stream, or anybody that will be listening, I know that they do, because they wouldn't be here. This is my belief.
Beautiful. Do you want to read it one more time now that we're going to all actually listen with the idea that it's for us?
Yes. So Spirit says, and this is everyone listening, this is for you. Remember, I started off with you. Okay. You are a goddess. You are a queen. You can do anything and everything, but you do not have to. You do not have to. You would still be enough if you stayed exactly as you are. What is the very thing you would like to do right now? My answer and yours may be similar, different, but listen to the answer, because there's something in there for you. I want to sit in the river, bathe in the sun on a hot rock, and sleep. I forgot that part, sleep. I want to love my little girl, that's I'm talking about within, and play with her in that place. I want to love her again and not think about bills, money, work, or responsibilities. And the last sentence, very important. I want to be free. So let me ask you ladies that are watching, or men, anybody that's watching, where do you feel trapped? Do you not feel free? Is there an aspect of your life that just does not feel free? Do you want to be free? And then when you ask yourself that question, or you make that statement, I want to be free, another exercise you can do is, so let's say whatever your last sentence, I want people to key into, when you do this journal work, key into the last sentence, because that usually is the kind of the period that ends the thought. So key into the last sentence, and if that last sentence says, I want to be free, I want you to make a list of all the things that you want to free yourself of. Again, I want you to make a list of all the things that you want to free yourself of. In other words, why don't you feel free? Name those things that keep you from feeling free. And you could say, I can just give you examples, just so you feel like, okay, where do I go with this? I want to be free from my job. I want to be free from my relationship. I want to be free to travel. I want to be free to sleep. I want to be free to do nothing. I want to be free to make more money, maybe. I want to be free to make money. Maybe I'm not allowed to. Whatever that is, make a list of all that you want to be free to. So, maybe your sentence was, I want to be nurtured. Let's just say that you in the Spirit talked to you and said, I want to be nurtured. Make a list of all the ways that you're not being nurtured. What is standing in the way? How does that look when you're not nurtured? If you can identify what it looks like when you're not nurtured, you can start finding ways to be more nurtured. So let's go down the list. Let's just say, I want to get people real practical. This is a workshop. Mine was, I want to be free. So I say I want to be free from, okay, let's just say I want to be free from work, or I want to be free from money worries, because that's a big one for a lot of people. Let's just deal with that one by itself. One, I want to be free from money worries, not from money, just the worries of money, because we want to be clear, right? So now you start journaling around being free from money worries. So Spirit just asked me to, and I'm to ask you this: why are you worried about money? Just in that way. I'm always going with you. You know, so I'm using that word. Why are you worried about money? And start really dialoguing, really journaling around why you're worried about money. Once you get a good amount of things, I'm worried about money because the rent's due. I mean, it could be just that simple. I'm worried about money because I've been in this situation before last year and I didn't make money during the summer, so now I'm worried about money. Or, I mean, write it all down. There's the good, the bad, whatever you're feeling. And then, remember, I'm always going through the steps, right? After you write all of that down, a lot's going to come out. Because when you realize that you're worried about something, you can identify it, you will be able to write about it. When you finish writing about all of that, start going back and saying, where did I learn this worry about money thing? Like, I'll give you an example. In my home, so worry about money. In my home, there was these ebb, no, it wasn't ebb and flows. It was like great and terrible. And I'll tell you what I mean. My mother would worry about money, and she would think about it, talk about it, how we don't have any, and what we're going to do, and how we're going to pay the bills, and how we're going to pay the rent. This could be you. So I tell stories because it usually identifies, you usually say, oh my God, that's me. This is my mom. Now, I'm worried about money right now in the present day. Let's say that I am. So my mom, I remember, but this is the thing. We would then get the money. Somehow somebody would give us money, we would borrow it, it would come to us, we'd be able to pay the rent, we'd be able to buy food, because money was always attached to couldn't pay your rent and couldn't eat. Always. This is true story, this is real, it's not. Then we would get money and hooray, everything, we circulate it quickly, we buy food, we pay rent, life is great for 2 or 3 days, 4 maybe, a week the most. Then she go right back to, oh no, what are we gonna do? We don't have enough money. How are we going to pay the bills? How are we going to pay the rent? And then then you come up and get, I mean, this was continually for all of my life. It was just that same pattern. What you'll find is, now you go back to your life today, you look back, you went back to fetch it, found out what was lost, and you go back now, you go, wait a second, in my business, I have these incredible months. This is what a client once told me. In my business, I have these incredible months. I made $12,000 last month, but the month after, I only made 4. But then the next month, I made $14,000 a month. But the next month, I only made 2. Do you see your patterns? Perhaps could that be the fact that that's the way money came and went? That's how you saw it brought into your life? That's the reality. And everyone can see those connections. This is not just me, it's not just a client or two, it's everyone that I say, well, I say, when you did your journaling work, the last one's I want to be free. You write a list of what you want to be free from. You just take one thing off the list at a time. Mine's free from money worries. Then you write, why are you worried about the money? Why are you worried about money? You dialogue till it all comes out, get it all out. And then the next step, remember, is then you start to think back, where did you get this? My word money, what is this thing? And when you can clearly go back, usually go back to when you were a youth, when you were a child. And how did money function? And then you start seeing, oh my God, it's a belief. It was a condition. And guess what? This is the best part. I can change that condition. And remember when I said, it's okay to get other people's affirmations, but I said, write your own. So now you can write an affirmation. The last part would be, money flows to me, and let's just say easily, effortlessly, and consistently, because that's the big problem for you. Money flows to me easily, effortlessly, and consistently. Those are breakthroughs. Do you understand that if you never did anything else, and you just focus for a whole month on the same exercise, or going through the list of all the things you're worried about and just taking that one thing, now, guess what happens? Well, let me tell you what happens in the interim, because I want the good stuff. I want to make sure that you're getting the good feelings. In the interim, money's coming from different places because you identify why it wasn't flowing consistently. In the meantime, you're getting prosperity and abundance that's not money per se, but it's coming. In the meantime, your spirit is so excited that you finally went there and released the blockage that is telling you, okay, when you get up in the morning, you go to your husband, babe, I got this idea, like, Spirit, I do this all the time. Spirit told me we need to go to, I'm not exaggerating, TJ Maxx. He's like, TJ Maxx? TJ Maxx specifically, or Ross or Marshalls. Why? I don't know why. This is me to go. We go and I find this perfect dress. And this dress, I didn't realize, this is a real story too, that I found this dress. It was the perfect dress. I had to do a video that was for promo. It was not only the perfect dress for the video, the director loved it. It flowed so beautifully, but I realized why I was attracted to the dress. Because it was this a halter dress. And when we were younger, we couldn't get special little things like that. Everything was very basic. And I always used to want this halter dress when I was a little kid. And so it makes you realize how much work you really did on the inner child part of yourself. Because now, why did I get attracted to the dress? I had to get up and get this dress. Why was the dress in my size? Because it was you saying, I can have what I want, even if it comes to me a little bit later.
That is so beautiful. That is so beautiful. I love the magic of that, the inner work, and then you see the outer results like that. That's just beautiful. Thank you for walking us through this process. It's really beautiful, and it's really very doable. Really what you're saying is just keep following the clues that you yourself are leaving behind.
Exactly. That's beautifully put.
It's beautiful. It's just beautiful. And when you were talking, I wasn't focused on the money part, and you started with the money issue. But as you were talking, it's like, yeah, there's the patterns that we all have that we're replicating. So we could all, on almost any topic, following the clues and identify the patterns.
Yes.
That's fantastic. Does anybody else want to share a comment or, no, just an invitation? Because we're going to be wrapping up in probably about 5 minutes or so. So anybody can unmute themselves if they like, or else we'll have the recording up and people can, of course, leave comments in the video. That was lovely.
Thank you. Thank you.
I
want to thank you. Yeah. I want to thank them, and I want to thank everybody that will watch this. And I want to ask you something that's very important before I conclude, at least my part is, I know you hear it all the time, but it's not enough to hear it sometimes. You have to really take it in. Be gentle. My husband, this has been his mantra to me. That's why I say employ real bodies. He always says, be gentle with yourself, especially during this process. He says, be gentle with yourself. Lay down, sleep longer. Be gentle with yourself. Do your journal work. Be gentle with yourself. And I'll just tell you why. A lot of times when we come into that vulnerable place where we realize that being gentle with ourselves is opening up all these channels within us, we will revert back with that part of us that gets a little afraid, go, no, I gotta be the queen. I gotta be the goddess. I gotta do it all now. I got up this morning thinking, oh my goodness, I got to do my yoga because I'm going to do yoga. I've been doing yoga for 20 years. It's the same routine. I got to do my yoga. And I went to do my yoga. I was so weak and tired. My husband was like, be gentle with yourself. I told you that already. Why are you trying to do that? Because that part of you will still come back and says, I'm not doing enough. But clearly the journal writing said, you are perfect if you did nothing and stayed exactly the same. And that was great for me. So I want to thank you, Reva, for allowing that experience to happen through me, with you, and everyone that is watching. Ladies and gentlemen, whoever is watching, may you have the same epiphany. May you have the same opening of your mind, body, and spirit, and may you move towards love. Because Sankofa says, go back and fetch what was lost and bring it back anew. And the new is the love for yourself. It's all about the self-love. And I get that, and I get it even more today. So I want to thank you, Miss Reva Linker. I appreciate you. Mhm.
Oh, thank you so much. That part about not enough and being gentle, it's, you know, it's corny, but you know, we're all of us here, I think, sisters from another mother, because
Yeah.
we all receive those messages of, you know, not enough and not working hard enough, and
Yes.
you're not deserving it quite yet.
Yes.
And you know, those are issues I think we're all really familiar with, and you led us on such a beautiful process. And I think what your husband has to say is so beautiful also.
Yes.
And just the fact of your self-love is bringing in these outside people who are also uh,
Yeah.
showing that love and kindness. And that's something that happens, I think, when we start being kinder to ourselves.
Absolutely.
And that's a
Absolutely.
big part of it too. So
Yeah.
thank you so much, Lisa Marie Goodson. It was beautiful, just beautiful. I want to thank all of the people who are here and all of the people who will be listening. And I know many people will be listening. So thank you for sharing in this wonderful experience with us. Please visit the AtoZ Healing Space website. Visit our sanctuary shop to see all the beautiful services and products by our healers that are there for you. And if you want to support what we're doing here, please share it with your friends. That our very special charter membership is available for a limited time only, for less than $1 a day, which is phenomenal. Our next Circle Space event is very exciting. Cassie Gregory is leading an intuitive art workshop. And that's going to be an ongoing workshop. It's going to be every third Monday of the month at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. And that's going to be a wonderful way to get in touch with your womb or your animal spirits or whatever you know, those beings that have messages for you, and doing it through art, not through journaling, but actually through putting pencil or brush to paper and seeing what emerges. So that is tremendously exciting, and that is ongoing every month. And like the workshops, it's free to our members. So I hope, you know, you'll all explore that, because it's ongoing. It'll be every month. And thank you again, Lisa Marie Goodson. Thank you all for being here. I'm going to sign off the recording now, and blessings to all.